When watching the first episode of Kowloon Generic Romance, the first words that came to mind was adult and mature, with an all-adult cast, an adult setting in the workplace, mature conversations, smoking, drinking, and even mature bodies. And don't get too used to it because the sexualization of our main character Reiko only happens in episode 1, and I don't consider it a bait and switch, but it did got my attention for the first episode, that's for sure. And I thought that this was going to be, like the title says, a generic romance because I always go to every anime as blind as possible, only going by either the title or the poster image. So I was very surprised that this actually turned out by the end of the first episode to be a romance mystery and sci-fi. But I'm not going to talk about the sci-fi side of things because that was a little bit iffy for me. So I'm only going to concentrate on the romance mystery part of things, where our main character Reiko is rummaging through the cabinets of our other main character Kudo, who is also our love interest for this anime, and she finds a photo of Kudo next to a woman that looks like her but is not her. And that is the setup to the mystery that goes on throughout the rest of the 13 episodes. And it was very well done. While I cannot talk about the mystery directly because I don't want to spoil it for anybody that might find this video, I can actually talk about everything surrounding the mystery, starting with Reiko making very with one of her very recently close friend Lin, who the two of them confide with one another. And actually, when talking about who this other woman that looks like me but is not me is, they make very smart, um, very mature theories. I'm not, they make conclusions that even theories that even myself was thinking about. It was actually quite well written. They didn't let their emotion do the speaking. They didn't started to hyperventilate and thinking to myself, oh my goodness, am I this, am I that, what's happening, I'm scared. No, they were calm, cool, collected, and making very rational decisions throughout the mystery. And one thing that I can say that was let's say a nitpick, that not only Reiko and Lin but many other characters, they were making a little bit of too much rational decisions. They were instantly looking at something that just happened and immediately arriving at the correct conclusion. And I was okay. This is a mystery. You have to maintain the flow of the storytelling, make continue moving along, but make a little bit. I don't know. Maybe they were making too many good decisions. At least stumble upon a little bit of here and there, make a wrong decision, a wrong conclusion, and have somebody later saying, "No, you're wrong. This is what really happened," or something like that, because they were instantly hitting it right in the mark when it comes to their theories and conclusions and so on. And one thing that I can say is that when Reiko was in a slump and trying to figure out what's going on, she didn't bottle it up or anything. No, she went to Kuro and say, "Hey, I'm asking you directly. Is this what going on? Who is the woman that looks like me that but is not me?" And having very open conversations with one another. And yes, Kuro not wanting to just instantly reveal the mystery. He was very wishy-washy, only giving you breadcrumbs of information, but still, at least there was an open conversation between the two, and no misunderstanding happening. So that's one thing that I actually quite like, because the romance between these two characters, Reiko and Kudo, was actually quite cute, charming, and even when the whole mystery lingering throughout the air, the two of them still managed to make a connection throughout the episode and figuring out their new dynamic after the mystery being revealed slowly, and she figuring out new information, but still wanting to stick by Kudo and say, no, I love you. Even with all of this information that I'm figuring out, I still very much care and love you. And it was, the romance in this anime was very well done, I can say that for sure. And not only with Kudo and Reiko that are main character, there's a subplot, plot B, that was happening, and we are another Miyuki, who is, I thought that Miyuki, the guy that I'm putting the image right now, I thought that he was going to be a typical flamboyant gay, a caricature about what a gay person would be like. But no, actually Mayuki turned out to be a much more interesting character than I thought he was going to be. And even with Miyuki and his own love interest, who's, I'm not going to spoil right now because that plays a part to the mystery and the story. But Miyuki with his own love interest, the way that the two of them were uh, develop, developing throughout the episodes also, and growing a bond with one another, that I'm going to stick by my man and all of that, was also very well done. I actually would have liked to see more of Majuki and the other guy from more throughout the episode, and how more of how the love between the two developed, how they met and so on, because we saw the two of them mostly after after the two have been in a relationship for a little bit. So I would like to see more of the setup, a little bit of flashback, how they met, and all of that. Because actually, Miyuki was an actually very well written character. He wasn't a caricature of a gay person or anything like that. He was just a person that happens to be gay. And when an anime or any medium does that, is an actually very well executed character. Now, the whole sci-fi side of things, I'm not going to talk about that at all, because that might, honestly, even with watching the whole 13 episode and having the anime fresh on my mind, the sci-fi thing was very confusing to me, that if you don't pay close attention, you might blink and miss it with the information. So I'm not going to talk about it because it might also ruin a bit, because the sci-fi plays into the mystery. So I think I'm going to leave it here. I think I made my point. Very good anime. So I'm going to actually give this anime a score of an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed the romance, the mystery, the sci-fi barely, but the adult conversations, the mature conversations, the everything about this anime was very well done when it comes to the mystery, and the romance very cute, very charming. I very much enjoy it, and actually very much recommend it. So I'm going to end it here. So have a good day, have a good night, wherever you're from. See you next video.